Ladies and gentlemen, fantastic to see you today. So glad that you could join us, and welcome to our special Chinese New Year Travel Festival and to this, our dedicated China show. I'm Andy, your host on today's show, and what a thrilling show we have in store for you today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in the spirit of Chinese New Year, last year it was the year of the ox, but hey, that was so 2021. It's a new year, it's 2022. And so, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together, please, for the year of the tiger. The tiger representing a year for making big changes, for risk-taking, for adventure, and for celebrating life. And what better way to celebrate life? Yes, celebrate life and to travel. So, coming up today, I'll be speaking to Wendy Wu about what makes touring with Wendy Wu Tours so special. We're off on a virtual trip to China to explore the highlights of China. Plus, we'll be getting down and dirty, getting off the beaten track as we explore those lesser known sites and attractions. And as well as all those fantastic, authentic and immersive experiences that Wendy Wu Tours are truly known for and do so well. Now, because we can only cover so much in one show, and of course when it comes to China there is so much that we can show you, hence straight after this first section of the show, stay with us and come and join us in our virtual travel lounge, where our China travel experts are waiting to meet you and to answer all of your questions on everything touring. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm joined now by Wendy Wu, founder of Wendy Wu Tours, who also happens to be one of the most influential people in travel here in the UK, Australia and New Zealand. Wendy, it is great to see you.
Great to see you, Andy. And Happy New Year. Happy Chinese New Year, everyone.
So Wendy, I've got to ask, if you had to encapsulate the magic ingredients that makes touring with Wendy Wu Tours so unique and so special, what is it?
I would say fantastic passion, unsurpassed expertise, and the burning desire to serve.
Wow, Wendy, that is hot.
Yes, Andy. At Wendy Wu Tours, we have a team of passionate travel experts. We love nothing more than to dig really deep into the culture, history, tradition, food, and the people, so that you don't just see the country, but to live extraordinarily when you are with us.
Wendy, this is amazing. I love the idea, and I know you as well will view us of living extraordinarily in a new country on our holiday.
Yes, Andy. We also have another team of serving experts who love to look after you so well, every step of the way, 24/7, from your visa to your ticket, to your hotel, to your every meal, to your every excursion, and introduce you to local people and every show. So with all this combined, that we want you to have a holiday of your lifetime every and each time when you travel with us to a new country.
So Wendy, you said that you take care of everything, every step of the way. So I want to know, Wendy, and our viewers also want to know, will you be coming on every tour with us?
Andy, we have over 1,000 trips, so not. But just say this year alone, I did join the first Spirit of Scotland group. I also joined the our magical Christmas in Scotland tour. And I have wrecked Portugal Uncovered. And I'm soon to go on to do the final personal check of Journey Through Jordan. So I do go on our tours and to that everything, Andy.
So Wendy, we're here at the Chinese New Year Travel Festival, and it is of course for us the Year of the Tiger. So Wendy, what does this mean to you, to Wendy Wu Tours, and of course to our viewers?
For 2 years, we were locked down and robbed off the opportunity to travel. Now is the Lunar Chinese New Year, and today is actually the New Year's Day. That signifies the new beginning, a time of seasoning change, and a time to sow the seeds for the rest of the year. So for me and for the team, we want to showcase and inspire you with some of the best tours around the world. Whereas for you, our viewers, we want you to come with us and enjoy the ride, to plan and decide or select your dream holiday for 2022, 2023 and beyond.
Hello, so I'm going to tell you all about my top highlights and tips really on a Wendy Wu tour for seeing China. The real big hitters of China, if you like, what everybody wants to see, particularly on that first time visit. So let's take Beijing as a starting point. Of course, we're going to take you to Tiananmen Square, the Forbidden City, the Temple of Heaven, to name just a few of the highlights. But the real big one that everybody wants to see is the Great Wall, of course. And the Great Wall stretches for 4,000 miles when it was originally built by the first emperor of China. And it was built as a fortification against northern nomadic tribes. And it stretches from the Gobi Desert in the west to the Bohai Sea in the east. Now, what Wendy Wu Tours do, which is very different to everybody else, is we take you to a much quieter section of the Great Wall. So most operators, and the most popular section is the Badaling section, which actually has a cable car, and also they call it a pulley. It's almost like a little roller coaster, if you like, to be able to get up and down the wall. It's incredibly popular, and so therefore gets really busy. And what we do at Wendy Wu Tours is we take you out to a much quieter section away from Beijing, and you get some fantastic vistas and a real amazing opportunity to get incredible pictures of you on the Great Wall of China with nobody around. It does mean we get up early that day, but I assure you it really is worth it, and we take you to a much more authentic section of the Great Wall for a much better experience than you would get with any other operators. Now, my second highlight for visiting China is the Terracotta Warriors. Of course, incredibly world famous. 7,000 of these statues of soldiers, horses, carriages, and it is an amazing experience. Now, it is set out in the countryside. It was founded by a farmer who happened to be digging his land, and it is an amazing site. But like all popular sites, again, it does get very busy. So Wendy Wu Tours will take you there early. But Xi'an itself is a highlight for me. The actual city, it's a fantastic city, and it does have an ancient wall around it, built in the 14th century under the Ming dynasty. It gives you great views of the city. And what we do as another sort of little experience around this is we actually cycle on here. If you wish, you don't have to, you can walk, but you get amazing views of the city and it really is great fun. And this is another area where we really highlight the Wendiwoo difference. A lot of other operators will stay in and around Xi'an, but they won't stay actually within the walls such as we do. So it is a fantastic way to actually see the city and experience it in the evening. Maybe visiting the Muslim Quarter, just as an example. And we also take you to an amazing dancing show, the Tang Dynasty show. So Xi'an is often overlooked, I think, by people just focusing on the terracotta warriors, and it is so much more, and you will get a great experience with us in visiting Xi'an. So number 3 on my list, if you like, is the amazing Yangtze River. And this is where I'd like to talk also about the pacing of a tour. I do think that that's really important. And Wendiwoo really do spend a lot of time in constructing our tours. Other operators, you may only do 2 or 3 nights on the Yangtze River, but we believe 4 nights is what you need to do. And again, this is on our Wonders of China tour. The river itself is 6,300 kilometers long, and it's said that the riverbanks are home to almost a third of the population of the country. Real big highlights on here: the Three Gorges Dam, the Shannon Stream Gorges, which are absolutely amazing, and seeing the Jade Emperor statue of 100 feet. But it's just that spending time on the river, relaxing, slowing the pace of the tour right down for you, and an amazing experience that shouldn't be rushed. One of the real highlights for a lot of people wishing to visit China is, of course, the opportunity to see up close the fantastic giant pandas of China. Now, they are the national emblem, and they're virtually impossible to actually see in the wild due to where they are, but there are a number of conservation areas which help to breed the pandas. The most famous and probably known as the panda capital of the world is Chengdu, which we do visit on a number of our tours. But on our Wonders of China tour, which I think is a real key tour for us, with introducing people to China for the first time, we actually go to the panda breeding center in Chongqing and the panda room, and there you can get up close with these pandas, see them with their offspring, playing, sleeping, and just generally really enjoying their environment. And China's work in keeping this very endangered species alive is quite incredible, and they put huge resources into this, so you'll get that opportunity on a Wendiwoo tour. Now, to really experience China and to really enjoy the country, you do also have to get out into rural China. And nowhere better than down in the southern area of China and Yangshuo and Guilin. Now, absolutely stunningly beautiful with these dramatic karst mountains that dominate the landscape, the epic water caves, the River Lai that runs through it, and the rice paddy fields. This really is quintessential rural China as you would imagine it. And Yangshuo itself is a great city. It's got its ancient cobbled pedestrianised main street, but it's great to just get off that track as well with the little side streets and the narrow alleyways where you can just see ordinary life happening all around you. And one of the great things in Guilin is to see the cormorant fishermen that for thousands of years they've trained these cormorant birds to hover over and to actually fish for them and drop the fish on their wooden rafts. So this is a real fantastic highlight of this country. Although the cities are amazing, then the rural side of it and the beauty of China when you get out of those cities is quite stunning. So one of the big highlights again for me when we're talking about the cities of China is Shanghai. known as the Paris of the East, and it really is an amazing city that's just full of contrasts, from the European style mansions to the modern skyscrapers. And we'll take you on a fantastic river cruise through the middle of these, with the historical Bund on architecture on one side and the more modern Pudong on the other. And when it's lit up at night, it really is beautiful and stunning. But also, again, with these contrasts, fantastic place we actually take you in Shanghai, the Yew Gardens, which is a real perfect example of Chinese gardens, with jade rock and these fantastic fish ponds with these beautiful fish and tranquil pavilions. And yeah, I think Shanghai for me is one of the best cities that I've ever visited on my worldly travels. It really is fantastic and sometimes hard to explain. It's just the atmosphere of the place I think is incredible. So all of these highlights you can actually experience on the Wonders of China tour, along with many of our other tours of China. Of course, nobody has a more comprehensive program of touring of China than Wendy Wu Tours. But one of the real highlights, whichever tour you decide to do with us, is the food. And the quality of the food and the restaurants that we take you to are fantastic. No eating in hotels for us on our tours, which is what some other people will do. Couple of the highlights for me, obviously Peking duck, absolutely incredible, and it does taste very different to what you have when you have Peking duck in the UK. So doing this experience actually in Beijing is incredible. And also, we do take you when we're in Beijing to the Hutong area. This is sort of like a suburb of housing, a style of housing built in the 13th century. And built around Feng Shui with four sort of small houses joined together around a courtyard, and you actually have traditional food served there with a Chinese family. So a really immersive experience. But whatever tour you do with Wendy Wu Tours, the food is always incredible, and that's always one of my top highlights.
I've loved every minute of it. I decided I was going to see the world, and this is the place to see. If you go on one of these tours, you make some great friends.
Since the beginning of the tour to now, it's been absolutely fantastic, well organised. The itinerary has just been excellent. Couldn't have asked for more. And everyone on the group has got on so well. We really gelled together and it was fantastic. And Ken, the guide, has been amazing.
We've had great hotels, a wonderful guide with Ken. It's a really good group. I'm a solo traveller and I usually look for solo travel specialists, but I got in with this group and we've meshed really nicely. We've had a wonderful time. The food has been tremendous and I've enjoyed every minute. Everything has been thought of, everything has been considered. We've not had to think. For 9 days, all we've had to do is be where we're told to be at a certain time. And then we're taken away and shown the most wonderful thing.
Yeah, totally brilliant. We've delivered more than my expectations. Ken, our national tour guide, nothing has been too much trouble for him. So well organised by Wendy Wu. Brilliant tour, thoroughly recommended.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we've looked at the main highlights in China, but hey, at Wendy Wu Tours, we do it differently. And there is so much more to see when you get off the main tourist trail, as we are about to find out now. Joe, good to see you back again.
Hi, Andy.
Joe, we've looked at the amazing and iconic sites in China, but there is so much more to see when you get off that main tourist trail. So what are your top recommendations for sites and natural attractions when you get off the beaten track?
Yeah, I think once you get out of the big major cities and the major sort of man-made attractions that people see in China, there is so much more to see. One of my highlights is Zhangjiajie, which is the also known as Avatar Mountain almost. So it's where the film Avatar, they got their inspiration for the alien planet with the lush greenery and the 3,000 sandstone pillars that sort of come out of the ground. And there's fantastic waterfalls there, amazing gorges. You can trek to Jinbian Stream. There's also a Yellow Dragon Cave as well. And then outside of that area, there's other areas of just natural wonder and beauty. You've got the stone forest at Kunming as another example, where as you approach, the stones are quite small, and then it comes into this amazing sort of actual forest made out of these huge stones. And then there's also some other attractions that are man-made, but they are off the beaten track. So you do have the 71-meter high Buddha at Leshan, which was constructed in 803, and then a few other wonders as well, where you can trek into Tiger Leaping Gorge, for example. So lots to see, lots to do, lots of wildlife, and just some amazing scenery.
So ladies and gentlemen, think of China and you automatically think of history and culture. The two really go together. So Joe, of course, Wendy Wu's China tours are full, chock full of history and culture. But if we're going further and we're getting off that beaten track again, what can we expect to see?
Yeah, again, there is so much history and culture across the whole of China, but I think when you get away from those main sites, again, for me, it's the ancient towns, because they really do transport you back thousands of years and are exactly what you have as an image of ancient China. So Pingle, which is dates back to the Han Dynasty and is situated on the Tea Horse route, is a prime example of these fantastic little streets and just this amazing culture. And also from there you can go up and see the bamboo forest from Jinjiai Bridge, the rope bridge there, which is an incredible sight. There's another ancient town of Shaoxi as well, and this is where there's a lot of minority peoples of China actually live, and you can actually immerse yourself and really get to learn about those communities. But even just outside of Shanghai, I mean, we take people even on the main sections of our tours, and you can actually go out to the water towns in Shanghai and the canals that used to bring all of the goods in. So yeah, some absolutely amazing experiences to really transport you back to what you have a mind's eye view of what ancient China is.
Gosh, so much to see, Joe. Is there a particular tour or tours that you'd recommend for getting off the beaten track?
Yeah, we have a tour range called Go Beyond, which really get you off that beaten track. They're a little bit different to our classic tours. They're a smaller group size, maximum of 18. They don't include all meals, so you've got a little bit more independence there, but they really do get you into the real nub of a destination. And for me, there's two that I would recommend. There's Dreams of Nature, which is a 22-day tour. And that's really for people that have been to China, done the main sites, and then this is a second trip. And the China the Big One, which is really for people at 28 days, they've not been to China, so you get all of those main sites that I mentioned earlier, plus you get out into these more rural areas and off the beaten track. So they're the two tours that I would look at.
Wonderful. Joe, some amazing experiences in that clip that we've just seen. I'm sure you'd agree, viewers. So when it comes to those authentic and really immersive, those cultural experiences that make us feel that we've really, really experienced China, what are your top picks?
Oh, there's so many, Andy, there really is. For me, I like actually doing some of that, the sort of more hands-on activities kind of things. So we can actually take people, and we do, of course, a Tai Chi lesson with a Tai Chi master. And that's quite an incredible thing to do. I really enjoyed doing that when I was in China. There's things like paper cutting you can do, which is an ancient art which dates back to the 6th century. Also one of the ones that I did while I was there was I took my hand at trying to do some of the calligraphy, so the Chinese writing. I was absolutely appalling at it, but the lesson was so much fun. Really, really enjoyed it. And then you have other things where you're actually, when we go to Chengdu, for example, and we go to a tea plantation and we learn all about how tea is cultivated, but then also we go to an ancient tea house as well, and we learn about that ceremony and how to make that perfect brew. So you learn really about that whole history and culture. And then I do like to be entertained as well. So there's a vast range of shows that really are cultural experiences as well as spectacles. One of the most famous is the Tang Dynasty show in Xi'an, and that's really a dance and music ritual around praying for a good harvest. There's of course the Kung Fu show when we go and visit the Shaolin Temple. But in Yunnan province, they've got quite an interesting show there, which is really the history of the minority peoples. And you learn all about that, and that show's called Dynamic Yunnan. And there's also the Era show, which really is a history of China. So with all of these, the hands-on experiences, the actual seeing how people live their lives, and the shows as well, which are hugely entertaining but very educational into their culture, there's just so much to do.
So Joe, China has some of the most diverse cities, towns, villages, the most extraordinary places in the world. And of course, with that comes a whole array of different cuisines. I've got to ask you, Joe, really important question here. When it comes to culinary delights in China, what really gets your mouth watering?
Oh, well, for me, it's definitely the Peking duck. I love that in this country, but it does taste very, very different in the way that it is cooked. It's just so succulent, and I really, really love that. So that's got to be my top favourite. But there are so many, and I think that's the beauty of a Wendy Wu tour, is that when you're going around the country, you are tasting regional differences and dishes in various different areas. The Shu Yi Zhao dumplings as well, which is from Xi'an, is a real favourite. If you like those dumplings, they're absolutely amazing with their taste. Also Xi'an, you can go and visit the Muslim quarter, which is interesting just to see the foods there. So with the hand stretched noodles and the barbecue meats on the skewers. So lots of these kind of experiences. Also out in Kunming, which I mentioned earlier with the stone forest, there's a noodle and chicken sort of soup that they have, which is called across the bridge noodles. And the story of this is that a gentleman was studying, and his wife had to bring him food each day because he couldn't get off the island where he was studying, and she would have to cross the bridge, and by the time she got there the food would be cold. So what she decided to do was to have the noodles and the chicken ingredients in one pot, and then create a hot broth with some oil on the top to keep the temperature in, and then she would carry both of those and then mix them together so that he would have a hot lunch. I don't know how true that is, but it's a lovely story. So again, all of these foods, all of this culture that you can learn about, and food's such a big part of a Wendy Wu tour, and we do it so well.
So ladies and gentlemen, lots of amazing experiences that we've heard about already. And so Joe, when it comes to touring and those amazing experiences, is there a top tour?
That's a difficult one, Andy, because there isn't a top tour for experiences, because there's so many experiences included on every Wendy Wu tour. However, having said that, if you've got the time, I always advise to go on the bigger tours that we do, the longer tours, the 20-day plus tours. So a couple of them I've mentioned already, Dreams of Nature and China, the big one. But in our classic tour selection,
which includes all of your meals and all of your experiences and absolutely everything. We have the Ultimate China as well, or even the Grand Tour. So there's lots and lots of tours, lots of experiences. I think you just have to look at them, but if you can do the big tours, they're better value for money, and of course they include so much more.
Sounds fantastic. Thanks, Joe.
No worries.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have got a selection of fantastic and exclusive travel festival offers for you today. Choose from free return flights to Japan, or partner flies free to all of our other destinations, or even a free single supplement on many of our most popular tours, and that is including Japan, saving you a whopping £1,940 per person. Or to help you fly in total style, we're also offering a free one-way business class upgrade to a wide selection of our destinations. Now, some of these offers must be booked by the 14th of February, whilst some of them are the 28th of February, and most are available on tours throughout 2022 and also 2023. So please check our website for all the details. And now, ladies and gentlemen, a big announcement. Are you ready? We have got a brand new service from Wendy Wu Tours. Now, we know that getting all the paperwork and the testing done before you travel can be quite daunting. So, ladies and gentlemen, just as we look after you every step of the way on tour, we're now taking away all the hassle and worry for you before you fly. So I can exclusively reveal to you today the launch of our brand new travel concierge service. Now, this new service includes either a pre-departure PCR test or 3 lots of lateral flow tests. Plus, you also get 3 personal calls from our travel team. You get a call before departure where a team member will assist you with all of your paperwork. You get a call before you fly home again, where again one of our team members will help you complete your paperwork for returning to the UK. And you also get a call when you arrive home just to make sure that everything went smoothly for you. Now, the current price for this new service is £199. But as a special attendee today, our new travel concierge service is just £99 per person, but you must book by the 14th of February 2022. And so, if all of this has really whet your appetite for travel, and just like me, you can't wait to get away, take a look at these incredible destinations, these getaways that are going to appear on your screen now. These are all departing in the next few months. Let's travel. So, ladies and gentlemen, fantastic to see you today on our special Chinese New Year Travel Festival. And we hope you enjoyed your travels with us around China just as much as we have. So, as I mentioned at the start of today's show, what you've seen is just one part of the show. The discussion and the all-important discussion continues now as we head over to our virtual travel lounge, where our team of China travel experts are just waiting to meet you and answer your all-important questions. And ladies and gentlemen, if you've never travelled with Wendy Wu Tours before, well, now is the perfect time to ask all the questions that you've ever wanted to ask on touring. Such as, what about our hotels? When is the best time to visit China? How safe will I be on tour? Yes, our team are ready and waiting for you to answer all of your questions on touring with Wendy Wu Tours. So now you'll see the link to the travel lounge on your screen. Just click on that link and you'll be in. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a really great pleasure. I've really enjoyed it today. And so I'll see you over in the virtual travel lounge. Let's head over.
We found Wendy Wu to be spot on from start to finish, with all the actual interactions from the booking to the preparation for the trip to arriving at the airport. It's been painless and faultless. Wendy Wu, they really do look after you.
I've been on other tours before, and yeah, Wendy Wu definitely includes sort of a lot more, it makes it a lot easier.
I liked the idea of what Wendy Wu offered. They have an excellent reputation. So I looked at a number of other tour companies, but Wendy Wu seemed to be the best.
Everything being included is really important. It makes it very, very easy, and you don't have to worry.
I just felt confident that that Wendy Wu would know, the best places to go and the best things to do, and it's proved so far on the trip. It's proved correct.
I've been really impressed with not only right from the start when I rang up to book. The staff in the office were really helpful, just kind of organising things and making sure that we got all the right paperwork in.
Our national escort was Lily. Lily's been fantastic, so full of energy and so helpful. She calls us Lily's family. She's always referring to us as Lily's family. And I think she's really helped us actually bond as a group, which made the whole trip much more enjoyable.
The Great Wall was extraordinary. It genuinely brought tears to my eyes, looking out and understanding the history, and just seeing how it was built in inhospitable terrain across the mountain ridges. It was awe-inspiring.
Wendy Wu staff, the local guides, our national guide Lily, they've been more than helpful on many occasions, and they have done absolutely everything they can to ensure that we've had the trip of a lifetime.
I hugged a panda, which was an amazing experience and one that I will never forget.
I recommend Wendy Wu Tour to everybody, and tell them that if they want to go to China, nobody better than Wendy Wu Tour.
I will recommend Wendy Wu. It's been a terrific experience with them. I've been very pleased.
Oh, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
I'd recommend it to people that want to go on an adventure and visit somewhere they'd probably only see once, but to see the authenticity rather than just the tourist highlights that you could see internet.
I will certainly recommend Wendy Wu Tours when I go back to England. In fact, I'm sure we'll be going on more Wendy Wu Tours because we want to go to Vietnam and other places, and I'll see Wendy Wu do those tours, so we'll certainly be booking again with Wendy Wu.